Now, it's
Hello,
time
Mario.
for Sunday Night Heat, baby. King Steven, hello there. Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. We are on Sunday Night Heat. I could be wrong, but Burning Hammer might be only in Day of Reckoning 2. I want this game to come back. Dude, I've been playing this for the first time lately on this stream, and it is really, really fun. I'm sad I didn't grow up with a Gamecube because I probably would have really liked this. Okay, I do not have any money, so are there any, like, points? Oh yeah, that's right. So chat, I've decided to make the crown one of the big parts.
I thought this was Saturday Night Cold.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. It was cold, but now we gotta put it in the microwave. Oh boy. I'm glad to see you can make it, Egg. I'm glad to be here, Mr. Heyman. I'm anxious to get started right away. Who do I fight tonight? Val Venus? Garrison? Maybe a mixed tag match with Victoria? Dude, first he was horny for Trish, and now he's horny for Victoria. But the sequel, I'm telling straight fire. I am looking forward to the sequel if it's anything like this. Well, first off, let me explain how it works around here. In case you're not aware, there are two kinds of matches on Heat. There are TV matches and ECW matches. TV matches are self-explanatory. We televise them on Sunday night. Dark matches are additional matches we put on for the crowd, but they aren't broadcast. That doesn't mean that dark matches are important. We use them as training matches to fine-tune our superstars' performances to make sure they're TV ready. Here on Heat, you can expect to start out at dark matches, but if you do well, you'll be on TV soon enough. Got it? Good. So if you're ready, your first dark match is a singles match against Lance Storm. Dude, he was already like on the dark matches of Heat. Wow. I mean, I realized this was like in the middle of his like dancing gimmick, but like I didn't realize that he was already on the dark matches of Sunday Night Heat. That's crazy. Heyman's surprisingly non-antagonistic. Yeah, he's actually like respectful. Oh goodness gracious me. Dude, even like get ready for Funky Storm.
Hello, Mario.
The mama was perfectly timed. I'm not flash fried on Sunday nights. Ah! All right, it's safe. All right, time to ah! He's the bone cracker. He's the bone cracker. Hi, piecemeal ravioli.
What?
Oh, goodness me. Hey, dude, his run! His run is great. Dude, was that actually his theme? That's crazy. Dude, they fucking hated this guy. They fucking hated him so much, dude. Why? That's so... You know what, though? That's fun. That's honestly very fun. And you know what? I will give this game this. Because, like, there are quite a few people in this game that are not in SmackDown vs. Raw. Like, I don't think Lance Storm is there. I don't think Val Venus is. The Basham brothers, the dominated Basham brothers aren't there either. So, like, there's quite a few people here that aren't in SmackDown vs. Raw. Yeah, screw Val Venus. In fact, I hope we kick his ass here on Heat. Because that's what he deserves. Hold on. Dream Battle. I would Lance Storm Boogie down to fucking the Dream Battle music from fucking Dream Team. But yes, you're right. Screw Val Venus. Transphobic fuck. Ow! You get over here, dancing fool. Ooh, nice. Chat, should I give him, like, the Christian, like, should I give him, like, the Christian Cage goddamn, tantrum taunt? Because I kind of want to give him that, just for the sake of him being able to drop on the deck and flop like a fish. You know? I feel like, given what we're doing here, him being able to, like, flop like a fish is pretty important. Drop on the deck and flop like a fish. He needs to. The ability to grab a thing that's still not in the current games. Wait, what did... Wait, can you type that out again, Teddy? I don't think I get what you're saying. Ow! The ability to grab a rope. No, not... I mean, like, you can, like, you know, do, like, rope breaks, but you can't do them unless you're in a pen. Ow! Man, that looks like shit. Fuck. Apparently before it was cut. Oh, I'm just thinking primarily submitted. Oh yeah, absolutely. Dude, I am kicking the fuck out of Lance Storm right now. This is nuts. I'm working him over here on Sunday Night Heat, brother. Jesus Christ. You know what? Another thing I like about this game is I also really enjoy, like, the graphics of it, too. I mean, I realize that, you know, it's nothing too, like... No way! Dude, I was. I squashed Lance Storm there. Wow. Aside from Venus, who's the biggest scumbag in the game. Apparently before it was cut, one of the SVR games was supposed to have a light tube as a weapon. I'm pretty sure that you can have a light tube in this game. I'm not sure, though. I bet Teddy might be able to fucking, help me out there. But yeah, we did it! Here, I need to do the Pokemon theme while I'm doing this. Submission. Wait, what did I just do? Chad, what did I put that into? It is for sure in the Forbidden DOR mod. Dude, can we, like, classify, like, Sunday Night Heat as a brand? I don't know if we can. Dark Match Wrestler.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Dang it! Okay, fine, we'll fucking run it. Fine, we'll run the ad. Bezos, come and get your pound of flesh.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw rolls on after this. I don't want to snooze it just yet.
The cinema scenes of Ninja Gaiden 2? Now that's a good cinema scene.
Zach! Quick, redeem another one. Quick, Zach, redeem another one. What kind of Cheetos? Puffs? Crunchy? Flamin' hot? Definitely the puffs. Like, no meme, when it comes to Cheetos, Puffs are probably my favorite. The crunchy ones can often, you know, be kind of weird and unsatisfying to me. But the Puffs, you know, like, they have a good thickness, they're very nice and airy. I don't feel as heavy after, you know, eating some of them. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. I love you, boo. Oh, fuck. It's one of mine. It's fucking one of mine. We've acted like real jerks to Sega in the past, but Sonic Blast is a title that shocks and stuns all who play it. And it shows just how much juice the Game Gear still has in it. With a game like Sonic Blast, we here at Flights of Fantasy believe the Game Gear will last for a whole nother decade. Is it realistic? Maybe, maybe not. But it's more realistic than that old clunker, the Game Boy, lasting just as long. The best feature of Sonic Blast is the graphics. The dithering is even worse here than it was in Toy Story, but the fact there are graphics like this on the Game Gear is incredibly impressive, especially in the game's bonus stages, which are sure to mesmerize gamers everywhere. We say that the Game Boy should be jealous of Sega, but we don't know if Sonic Blast used Silicon Graphics computers to bring its visuals to life. Everyone knows the incorporation of SGI computers was key to making Nintendo's Donkey Kong Country into the game it is today. If the same can be said for Sonic Blast, we may have a legendary title on our hands. And if you thought the graphics on Game Gear were good, wait until you see what they're like on the Genesis. Here's a look at the opening
Nom
of
nom.
Sonic's
Oh,
new
excuse me,
adventure.
we're back, my dudes.
Hi, welcome back to Raw. Genuinely, listening to myself back there, I don't even remember what the fuck I've said, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Literally, I'm just sitting here like... What? It's cinema. The crown is traveling its way up to his head, dude. What? Oh, god damn it. Val Venus! No! You stink. The name is Egg, not you stink. Right, anyway, I stink. I'm sorry about that. Paul Heyman sent me to find you. Looks... Dude, I'm teaming up with him? I don't want to do that. Heyman wants to see you in tag team action, so he's asked me to partner with you. Oh, man. We got a dark match against Garrison Cade. Oh, I finally get my hands on you. That's a tough draw, since those two used to be partners and know each other pretty well. Did they? But the big Valboski knows an up-and-comer like you when he sees one, and I know you and me can take those guys no problem. I want to team with Marco Corleone. If you want to save money on concessions, just sneak snacks into a WWE or AEW show. I mean, listen, man. We've been sneaking snacks into shows ever since, like, movie theaters were created. Dude, this is so fucking unfortunate. I got a team with Val Venus on a dark match. Just send me over to friggin' TNA at this point. I don't care. I can work with Christopher Daniels and he'll show me how to do the BMB proper style. Fishbone cracker egg hachi. Dude, he's awesome. He's over as fuck with the goddamn dark match crowd. It's WWE Dark, baby. And it's Flash Fried twice over. Featuring the Bone Cracker. Concessions, $6 for a hot dog, $7 for a bottle of water, $8 for a soda. Ah! Hello, ladies. Were people trying to see Val Venus in 2003? Because I kind of have my doubts. If I were in 2003, I don't know if I would be trying to see goddamn Val Venus. Good thing it's a dark match. But no, like, I do think that the inclusion of, like, guys that were in Here Comes the Pain, but not in SmackDown vs. Raw, is kind of novel. This was before he was revealed to be a dirtbag, yes. That paper towel was crazy. Garrison Cade's goddamn graphics always made me think of, like, NASCAR. I don't know why. But when I look at his graphics up there, I think, damn, this looks like NASCAR. There was a Chuck Taylor tweet where he said Val Venus was a porn star who just really liked All Japan Pro Wrestling. LOL. Did he have an All Japan run, though? I would be shocked if he did. May Garrison Cade be driving his fun little cars up in the sky. Alright, I think that for this fight... No, he just used to do... No, he just used some moves. I feel like his finisher would be the most, like, non-All Japan move, though, right? Clearly, he was a fan of the King's Road style. Let's see here. I think we gotta do this. Here, I'll fucking raise it up a bit. Bass music from a game I've never played before. We gotta be able to fucking defeat friggin' Mark Jindrak and Garrison Cade now, right? Okay, attack him with the Z button. I'm trying to leave the ring. Out of the ring! Okay, fuck it. I guess this is Tornado rules now. What? Okay. Okay. Ow! Hey, you! Wasn't Mark Jindrak supposed to be an evolution? Wasn't Val Venus supposed to do the Burning Hammer? So wait, what if I reach out to Val Venus?
Break!
How do I get into the ring in a tag match? This may be a little stupid, but how do I... Ah! Dude, Garrison Cade ate so much shit there. That's crazy. No! Let me in! Holy shit! Dude, the referee's out here doing, like, internationals and stuff. He's out here taking, like, these ginormous bumps.
Break!
Come on, Val, you gotta do better than this, man. Fuck you. I don't like you very much. I want to fight you, Val Venus. The fucking Johnny Test whip crack sound effects are so good, man. costing Val Venus the match by distracting the referee. You know what, Val Venus? If you don't pull out a goddamn burning hammer in this matchup, I swear to God, I will not respect you just a little more. I mean, the bar's already in hell, but like, if you're serious about earning the respect of Agashi, you better pull out those like goddamn like All Japan moves right now, man. I need to see a burning hammer in this matchup, or I'm not convinced. Okay, you know what? You know, tag me in. I'm gonna show you how a real guy wrestles. You know, as soon as goddamn Garrison Cade is done working over your everything. Dude! Dude, not the leg attacks. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna tag you in. I can do this on my own. Ow! Okay, maybe I can't do this on my own. Fucking Val Venus blows chunks, dude. Wow. I'm willing to bet that Garrison Cade doesn't have a lot of real fighting experience.
Break!
Devin. And neither does Val Venus, coincidentally. Fuck you! I got my moves up here. Watch this. Yoink! Ow! Venus? More like penis. I wonder if he meant to do that. Fucking let me grapple you, you friggin' J-Brown. Eat my scorpion death drop. Ah! 1, 2, 3! Really? Dude, that's insane! Oh my god, why, dude, why is it boxed like that? my totally legit real GameCube is completely on the fritz. No way I beat him to the diving cross body. That's insane. And Val Venus couldn't get a handle on either of these guys, and I did it within like 3 moves. That was literally like maybe 3 or 5 moves, and I put him away. It's like Ghost Data from Mario Kart. Yeah, I'm seeing past versions of Garrison Cade and Martin Jindrak getting their asses kicked. How can I shave 10 milliseconds off of my diving cross body? Maybe if I just hug the turn just a little more, I could shave off a few seconds on my goddamn, trial run. Okay, there you go. Venus matches sucked harder than a dice. By the way, Stev, did you do the Christian Tantrum taunt? Thank you for reminding me. I did not do that yet. We need to add that in, I think, right? He needs to drop on the deck and flop like a fish. Thank you for reminding me. Alright, hold on.
What?
Set. Please tell me. Dude, if I can do the tantrum as a finisher taunt, I'm doing that. I'm strong, maybe? Oh, I thought that
The
said
homunculus quit the Long Boy Club.
you'll be back tomorrow, brother. I know it. Where is the tantrum? No way. I can do that. Badass stance. Angry angle. Spoiled chicken. Oh, spoiled child. I thought that said spoiled chicken for a second. Dude, that has to be it. That right there. Idiotic karate taunt? That feels a little mean. You stink. Brother, this guy stinks. Breast stretch. Breech stretch. Oh, my brother. Imagine being a Javies player and seeing Misawa's taunt being called you stink. LOL. Do you think that's what the taunt was called in Japan? I like to think that's what it was. Wait, Hulkamania? Oh, okay. Side chest. Hulk up. Brother. I like that. I'm doing that. Spoiled child is awesome. So how many, like, taunts do we have? We don't really have a lot here, do we? You know what? I'm fine with everything else being how it is. A homunculus? Why? Why? Why would you quit the Long Boy Club? Why? Tell me why. Alright. We have 2 matches under our belt, and I really need to be honest, chat. I need to beat up goddamn Val Penis over here. This penis isn't my pal. He's my anti-pal. And I'm about to castrate it in big style. Alright, let's go get him. Now, pretty soon that crown is gonna be up to his head, chat. Oh, dude, we're leaving goddamn the WWE Dark. You're not affiliated with me. Well, Egg, you've done pretty well so far, but it's time to see how you do in front of the camera. Tonight, you've got your first televised heat match. I don't think I need to explain to you that's critical. You put on a good performance tonight. Your first televised match can make or break you. So I'm going to suggest you do the following. Make sure you put up at least one counter move. plus either one aerial move or one submission. Oh, and because of the television time restraints, you'll need to do all this and still win the match in 5 minutes or less. Is that clear? You better believe it. After this show, everyone's going to be talking about egg. I kind of want to share the other cards I drew in the art section of the community, but I don't want to spam. Dude, don't think about. It's nothing. Venus penis has nothing on Paul's follicle. I hope they're all doing well down in developmental, dude. I'm sad I didn't get their phone numbers because I would be petitioning to be added to the polycule big style. Everyone knows the polycule is where it's at. Now, Devin, like, fuck that. If you have art to share, share it. You know? I will say, don't share it in Longboy art, because that's where I intend to have, like, you know, art of the Longboy posted in. Or, like, art that's, like, relevant to, you know, my content. You know? It's like art of me, or the homunculus, or, like, of the characters we've made. By the way, I have a Discord. Ah, Rhino? You want me to job out Rhino? No! On a roster with the Bashams? You want me to job out Rhino? No! Dude! You're kidding me! This is bullshit. I don't want to job out Rhino. He's friends with people who have kids. I don't want them to cry. John, I don't know if I can do this. That man is one broken potted plant from being fired. You're so right. But no, I have a Discord server. We do weekly watch logs over there. We're watching Smiling Friends on Mondays. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be doing season 2 here soon. Come and fucking join us for that. Also, it's where I post all of my, notifications for my new stuff, whether it be streams or shorts or, you know, a video every 2 years. I post notifs there, so if you want to be the first to know about that shit, get into the server. Okay, I need to counter one thing from Rhino. Dude, this is bullshit. You're gonna make me do this in a time where the Bashams are on the roster? That's... Ah! Especially when he can do that. Right is...
Break!
Right is countering strikes, right? Dude, the whip cracks are crazy. Okay, hold on. Let's do minor circuit now that we're kind of on heat. Because if this is how they view Rhino, then I guess this is what we're doing. Dude, he can fucking wallop the shit out of me. Fuck you. Ah! Ow. This your Von Kaiser fight. You got this? Dude, you're right. I got this shit. Especially with our new taunt. Ah, yeah, brother. Show him the trunk. Show him that junk in the trunk. You know it, brother. Show him that junk in the fucking trunk. These are high-flying moves. The world's strongest slam. Oh, frog splash!
1, 2.
Nah, no, we're not done yet, brother. We gotta hit him with the goddamn twosome. We gotta hit him with the goddamn twosome of moves. Nice. Dude, Rhino is kicking my ass right now. No, I need to hit him with a finisher, right? Hit him with the terrible twosome of moves. Show him that junk in the trunk. You got it. You can actually hold submissions in for like a long time in this game, it feels like. It's kind of like one of like the things I enjoy about it. Like your submission like becomes more effective and longer the more you damage the opponent. It's kind of neat. All right. And now for the piece de la resistance. Dude, he's ready for this. Michinoku driver! And now, for the piece de la resistance, BME! Ow! That didn't do anything that I wanted it to do. Fine, you know what? It's, ah, shit. Really? Ah, fuck. It's fine. It's fine. Just fucking, like, tape into it. It's fine. It's fine. Just make him look like I hit it.
1, 2, 3.
Hell yeah. Editor, tape that over. Make him look like I hit my goddamn BME on him and went into the pin. Luckily it is taped. Just fucking edit it in such a way to make it look like I landed on him with the BME. This match was recorded twice. Look out. Here comes the Akachi. That crowd is likely not great for the lower spine. Dude, it doesn't matter if it's great for it. It's gonna travel up anyways. He won't have to deal with it, you know, there for much longer because you gotta think, it started on his ass and now it's on his lower back. It's like crawling its way up, you know? And eventually, I mean, right now it's not the lower, right now it's not the royal ass anymore, but rather it's like the royal lower back. Eventually we'll get up to the traps, and then to the back of his head, and then to the top of his head. It's storytelling, you know? Gore of the man beast. Are you gonna show me, like, your favorite gore porn? Nah. I know. Hey! Ow! Real concrete. Cry me a river. Ow! Ow! Concussion, man! You think you're pretty good after beating me last week? You want to show off against me? I've worked too hard in this business to get passed over for the likes of you. You better learn your place, rookie.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
You better learn your place, rookie. I'm going back to prime time, and not you, not anyone, is gonna get in my way. And if anyone does, they're gonna feel the gore. I don't know, man. I mean, like, you watched last week's episode, right? I beat you with the BME into the pinfall. You know? No other move came after that. We all saw the tapes. I think that it's pretty goddamn, you know, clear that I'm the star. I heard what happened to you earlier tonight. And then politely opens the door. I probably shouldn't mention. It's not a good idea to get on Rhino's bad side. You booked the match! The man beast could get a little... You booked the match and I did exactly what you wanted me to do. Don't go blaming me. Given your current condition, part of me feels like we should take it a little easy on you in your match tonight. Maybe we should cut you a break and give you a rest. But then, another part of me feels like that would be the worst thing we could do. That part of me feels like what a budding superstar like you wants more than anything is the satisfaction of getting revenge on the very man who attacked you just a short while ago. So I'm granting you a return match tonight. You, Egg, one-on-one with Rhino. And since it will be on our Sunday night Heat main event, I'm adding one special stipulation that only you and I will know about. In order to really impress the WWE brass in your match tonight, you've got to beat the Man Beast, but only after you destroy at least one of the announce tables. So it's simple. Put Rhino through an announce table and win the match. Simple, right? Good luck. Okay, fucking fine. Dude, why am I getting punished for your shitty booking decision? You booked Rhino when the Bashos were right there. What were they doing? Oh yeah, he probably couldn't find them.
When you're seeking revenge, build 2 rings to bury the people.
It's war games. Dude, I feel like I'm getting punished. I'm getting in the doghouse here. Ow! I'm sending Rhino over to the TNA, dude. I mean, I get how frustrating it can be, brother. But again, we saw the show last week. It was live. It was pretty decisive. I fucking hit you with the Michinoku, and then I got up on the ramp, and I got on the top rope, and I hit you with the BME for the 1, 2, 3. There were no moves that came after that. It was pretty decisive, I feel like. Hey, Mikisa, he'll be in the hot seat. Well, listen. He'll be in the hey hot cheese seat, or the A gotchi seat. Player side. Egg. Alright. So this right here, I feel like we can upgrade this to at least... No, I kind of feel like minor circuit is still pretty apt, considering we're on Heat. Oh man, I'm still hurt? Ow! So this right here is the main event, right? Or it's like the Heat main event. Which means that hitting our times doesn't matter anymore, huh?
Step on up and see if you can throw a giant gold ring around a long boy's neck, ladies and gentlemen. Step on up, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, hurry.
Ah, you stink, dude.
Or maybe you didn't.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do.
You owe me $10 either way.
I know exactly what I'm gonna do to this guy. You stink, man. I don't know why you're booing me. You're the one that fucking missed. Yeah! Man, the friggin'... So wait, hold on. Are there... hold on. Are there DQs in this? Destroy at least one of the announce tables. I think we gotta do more than that, dude. More than one. I'm sending you over to TNA where you belong, brother. Ow. Nice. RIP English announce table. 2074 to 1974 to 2026. Go get job to Jeff Jarrett's creative control. You know what? At the very least, I have freed the NWA title from fucking Jeff Jarrett a long ass time ago. He's never getting that shit back. Come on.
Hello, Mario.
Come on, brother. Get up here. Get up here, you bitch. Michinoku Driver! Through the table! My God, King! Hi, Soul. Welcome to tonight's Lawboy Club meeting. Dude, both the Spanish and the English announce tables have been broken. You can't say that Egg is not an equal opportunity destroyer. Nice. Yep. I'm trying my best to win, Soul. Being the absolute piss out of Rhino. The chops are crazy. Come on. Is this no DQ or something? No count on Rhino? No, it's a normal singles match. I don't know why the ref isn't counting. Maybe this game is more ref discretion. The commentary at Heat at this time was Al Snow and Jonathan Coaching. Should I hire Al Snow in TNA? Because he recently let his fucking contract expire with WWE. So he's available. Oddly enough, he was always available. He never had like an exclusive contract with the Fed.
Break!
Fuck you, bitch. On this match, it's not important that we hit our marks. We just gotta fucking put on a good match here. They can edit it down for later. Oh my god, the fucking ref is talented. Ow! Boo! Ow! Dude, everything in this is so punchy and so meaty. Fuck you! I'm not gonna let you do that! No! Drop on the deck and fly like fish! No! Michinoku Driver, I'm actually gonna hit my shit this time! And the piece de la resistance. Oh shit. 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 I just received word that the loser of this match will get a contract with TNA. Crack his bones. The fishbowl cracker is here to do his shit. He's here to do his shit, chat. Maybe. What a competitive contest this has been. Largely because goddamn Rhino beat me up earlier. Every butt bump has to hurt Egg so bad. Good thing he has the proportional strength of a sea bass. So wait, can he like tap out to me working his back like this or no? The egg signs, LMAO. So like, how do I drag someone on the ground again? Okay, I found it. I found it. Ah! Not the camel clutch. Tap out Rhino. Tap out Rhino. How much juice does Rhino have? He won't quit. Well, I'm trying to like end this match decently too. You know? Flop like fish.
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dude.
Snooze that shit, please. No, I'm not done yet. Dude, I'm taking the liberties I did with Wing. Ow! Holy shit, Rhino! Your reverse is shooters only, brother. I do have a lot of shooters in this universe, huh? Listen, man, we're out here. We gotta fucking give the people what they want. Ow! Remove his horn. I will castrate him. I will fucking kill him. I'm trying to remember the control scheme for this game, too. So, like, that's kind of why I'm also, like, being a real dick to him right now. Oh wow, I can actually like get up from the tantrum. Mission no co-driver! And the PC la resistance! Ow! Okay, never mind, we're just gonna play.
Break!
What?! Okay, fine, you know, editing a horn on Rhino would be funny, TBH. I'm sure someone's done that in the past. Really? Dude, this is absurd. Okay. I can do it. I can do it. Hit it. Yeah! We hit it! Let's go! 1, 2, 3. The Rhino has become extinct at the hands of the fishbone cracker. Eggachi. Man is dead. No kidding. Fucking stay on heat, you jobber. I'm going raw. I countered no grapples and probably one strike that whole match. Yeah, he's fucking, he's deceased. He is no longer on this planet. I enjoy the idea of him having a horn, too. That's fun. Okay. So, I think that we are... Wait, no, I don't want to do it just yet. I wanna level him up first, and then we'll save. I enjoyed the idea of him having incredible speed, so we're gonna give him that. And then we're gonna save strength for those head punches. I don't know. I kind of want to have a guy that's like high flying and submission based. You know? I think that's fun. Alright, y'all have a good night. You have a good night too, Piecemeal. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Man is dead. To be fair, look at this beautiful man. He can do everything. He really can. An uneasy partnership. Oh, fuck. No. Hey, Mr. Ankle. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Egg. I've never thought I'd run into the GM of SmackDown on Sunday Night Heat. Yeah, well, running SmackDown can tend to be a bit time-consuming, even for an Olympic hero. Anyway, I'm down here on Heat tonight to check out some talent I don't normally get to see. While
It's
I'm here,
almost
I
time
put
for
you
a
in tag
2.5
team
minute
match.
Cheetos break, my dudes.
You're going to be facing Val Venus and Lance Storm. And your partner is going to be Rhino. Now I hear that you two haven't exactly been seeing eye to eye lately. But I need you to do me a favor. Dark Spine! Wait, snooze.
Hello,
Snooze.
Mario.
I need to goddamn welcome on in the Raiders. It's a little hard to go straight to an ad after that. Hi. Hello, Darkspine. Hopefully you are having a good night. Thank you for bringing your lovely community on over here. What were you doing over on your stream? Actually, no, I do know what you were doing on stream. You were working on art stuff. Hopefully you had a good time with that.
Spare serotonin, please.
And I hope that you are having a good night. If you need to raid and run, that's absolutely fine. Serotonin, oh goodness. And with something... So, yeah, we got a few commissions done today. Nice! Was one of them mine, perchance? What? Was one of them mine, perchance? Twirls mustache. No. No, it's fine. What were the ones you got done today? If you don't mind me asking, what was like one that you're really proud of that you did today? No, but soon. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Just like I'm happy to say this with the follow from something 4859. By the way, thank you, something. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. We're now at 900 Twitch followers. That means we are 100 away from 1K Mania, which will, in fact, be a wrestling show, of course. But in order to get there, we need to get to 1,000 followers this year. I have a few plans for it. I have a few people I'm going to get in contact with to make it something incredibly memorable. So, if you want 1K Mania to happen this year, well, then we gotta get to 1K. But yeah, thank you for entrusting me with your community, Darkspine. If you got a raid and run, that's absolutely fine. For those who are new here, I am GirafaStev. Hold on, I don't like doing my big spiel to music. Right, like I don't like doing my big spiel without music. Okay, hi. My name's GirafaStev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club. I am the long and large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, some fucking warmer temperatures, for once, and my stinky cats. Tonight we are obviously playing WWE Day of Reckoning, and if you're familiar with this game or familiar with wrestling at all, I play a lot of stuff like this. I play a lot of wrestling games, particularly with custom characters, and they all exist within a shared universe known as the Giraverse, which, rather, it is called the Giraverse. And I am currently creating lore for this universe that I will be sharing on stream here when it's ready. When it's ready to go. I will be doing a presentation on the lore here, which will hopefully be in like March or so. But yeah, I do a lot of wrestling games, rather a lot like of wrestling career modes, and just, you know, like general fun stuff in wrestling games. I do a lot of RPGs. I do a lot of strategy games every so often. And of course, like I said before, I do a lot of custom world building as well within the games I play. If that sounds fun to you, I would really appreciate a follow. If you're not a wrestling fan, I will make you into one. So help me God, I will. Because it is genuinely a lifesaver for me. Wrestling is my thing. For life it is. Much like Sucre Sushi, I believe is how you say it, or Sucre Sushi? Please correct me if I'm wrong. But welcome on in, Sushi. You are now a member of the Longboy Club for life. That's 901 followers, by the way. We are one step closer to 1K Mania as we continue the road to it. Which, unfortunately, the road includes ads. So bear with me as we run a couple of them, and we'll be back.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw rolls on after this.
Now it's time to play FOF Speed Round. Here's how it works. We have 3 genres left: racing, sports, and puzzle. We go through each list of games, comment briefly on each title, and you have to guess which title is our favorite from that list. Full reviews are available on our website. Ready, set, go. Racing.
Also during the ad breaks, we
New
run
and
this
easier
show
cornering
called Gaming in the
controls,
Clinton
plus
Years.
nice graphics. Star Wars.
It's my
Episode
jingling
1
keys
Racer.
in front of the
Doesn't
audience
quite
while we
feel like
wait for the
600 miles
goddamn
per hour as advertised.
ads to end.
Micro Machine 64 Turbo. Steering is weird. Graphics too simple. Penny Racers.
Actually getting a
Mario Kart
WWE
for
ad.
kids.
Wait, did you actually get a
User-friendly
WWE
creative
ad?
Extreme
That's
GT.
insane!
Awesome graphics.
What was it for?
Lighting effects and course designs. Roll Cage. Awesome lighting
If it was the
effects,
Saudi
but
Rumble, I'm
often
gonna
very
goddamn
frustrating.
write a report into...
Formula 1 98.
God damn it! Okay, never
This
mind. I'm
game
writing a
might as well
report
be
into
Newman
Twitch.
Haas Racing, The Return. And lastly, Chocobo Racing. Mario Kart for kids, but much better than Penny Racers. And the top game is... Surprise,
I'm writing in a
surprise,
strongly
Extreme
worded
G2.
letter to twitch.tv. It's gonna be so strongly worded, you have no clue, chat. They're gonna be shitting their britches here before too long. Yeah. Yeah. I do have a couple of ideas for the 1K Rumble. Some of them will require the Discord server. Speaking of which, I have a Discord server. Come on over. It's a fun little community of games, wrestling, and other hyperfixations. We have a weekly watch along happening over there every Monday night. Right now, we are going to be watching season 2 of Smiling Friends on Monday. Smiling Friends, of course, I've seen all of it. I love it to pieces, but a lot of people in my server have not seen past the first season. So I am intending on fixing that. Because season 2 has like some of...
Oh, excuse me, we're back,
It's
my
certainly
dudes.
a good WWE game. I haven't been in the wrestling community in a while, but I always love the video games from it. Wrestling has genuinely saved my life on multiple occasions, and you know, a lot like of wrestling game.
Hello, Mario.
A lot of wrestling games are, you know, very special to me. I grew up with things like this, but funnily enough, I've never played WWE Day of Reckoning. So this is a brand new first time experience for me. Maybe I should put that in my goddamn things here. Maybe I should put that in my goddamn stream things right here. First playthrough. Bro looks It's not just about the bitch's egg. It's about the Mets, baby. Come on, Mets. Let's go, Mets. Got a home run, Mets. Let's go, Mets. I need you to make sure that Rhino, your partner, gets the pinfall tonight. He could use a victory right now. So I want you to put him in a position to get one. I don't care what else happens as long as Rhino gets the pin. Well, you know what, Angle? I don't like how you're rewarding this. What's wrong with you? Dude, why am I constantly being punished for kicking the shit out of Rhino? Also, thank you, Joe. Thank you for the lurk, man. Hello, ladies. Oh yeah, that's right, they were teaming at this time, weren't they? Val Venus and Lance Storm. Thank you. Boo. Boo Val Venus, but Lance Storm's cool. Lance Storm's genuinely cool. Boo these two. Boo them. Dude, big fucking pops for goddamn Val Venus and Lance Storm. Those are all for Lance Storm. Those cheers. How Val still has his Attitude Era Titantron. Is that his Attitude Era Titantron? I mean, I guess that makes sense. He's the bone cracker. He's the bone cracker. He's the come from behind. He's the back attacker. He's the bone cracker. He's the bone cracker. I don't know the rest of the lyrics to this song. Flash fried Agachi. I'm the bone cracker. I'm the bone cracker. I don't know the rest of the words of this song, man. Bow, bow, bow. B-side. Bow, 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 bow. Unite. I can't believe he's being rewarded for getting his ass kicked, dude. It's important that he gets the pin tonight. Kurt literally said, I only have this demand. Go out there and call the rest of it in the ring. That's a pretty cool entrance you made. I know, right? He's a double flash fried Agachi. Agachi is just too handsome, unfortunately. I mean, listen, as a fellow bald man, I find Kurt very handsome. But even he is not immune to the charms of Agachi right here. Okay, fine. You know what? Rhino, you fucking get in the match if you're so goddamn smart. You fucking get in the match and you work on Lance Storm since you're so goddamn smart. Good luck, brother. An absolute lady magnet. I mean, look at this. Look at him on the apron. Look at his goddamn little baby hands and his giant ass. Look here. I don't know if Darkspine is still in chat. If you look like Agachi, call me. Look at this ass, dude. That is all thighs, all ass, no calves. Hello, ladies. Chat, should I steal Val Venus's theme and just make it Agachi's theme? It's not stealing anymore. If we're all agreeing that Agachi is hot, then I feel like his music should reflect that, right? Hey Kurt, do you still want Rhino to get the fucking pin? Do you still want Rhino to get the dub here? Because, you know, I'm over here watching this right now, and I don't really think that's very well advised. You should beat Val Venus with a chair in the game. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Can I please come over here and get it? Hey, how do I look for, like, weapons underneath the ring? Oh, hey, here we are. No, that's a cane. Let's see here. This is a 4-way of the fatal variety. That's also a cane. I'm just over here, like, watching Rhino get his ass kicked, meanwhile I'm trying to find a cane. That is a Silver World Championship? Ah, hey! I found the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, chat. That's crazy. It's Kane holding a cane. Don't get DQ'd. I don't know. I feel like it would be funny. Chair? Ah, yeah, bro. You just keep watching that Ow! Hey! No! No, the chair disappeared? It looks like the ECW Championship belt. It kind of does. No! Val, please! Okay, fine. You know what? Val is heated, dude! Val is heated! Wow! Holy shit! Holy fucking shit, dude. Ah! Rhino, I am lit. You know what? If you want to take the L, you can absolutely do that, brother. That's fine. 2! Thank you. Dude, what is that silver championship? That's insane. That is the title of a crazy person. Okay, well, how about this?
1, 2, 3.
Fuck! No! 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 It's Upi hot in hell where he deserves to be. It's true. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? All of that came down to Rhino. He fucking he came through. I did not expect him to come through. But chat, how about this? I want to make good on, you know, the idea of, you know, being up Val Venus with a chair. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna do a side tangent here, and we're gonna go and do that real fast. Do we have Egg Hachi beat up Val Venus with a chair, or do we have someone else do it? Because truly, or rather truthfully, I'm like okay with anyone, if I'll be perfectly honest with you. Oh, we can actually customize the rules here? As a condition to win. I kind of want KO to be it. Being there. I'm not sure if there's any Alphabet Mafia in this game. Alright, well, here, I'll go down the roster for you real fast. Alright, we got the obvious big players at the time. We got H. We got Bennett. We got Guerrero, Cena, Rock, Taker, Shawn Michaels. Batista's the realest ally. No, he really is. He's actually like pretty goated. In fact, you know what? That's a great shout. I want Batista to beat the dog shit out of Val Venus. Oh my god, I was expecting Andre. Where is he? Eduardo Gory Guerrero. Yeah. Dude, he looks great. He looks better in this than he did in SVR. Come out here and fucking kick the shit out of Val Venus.
Get him. Get his ass.
Batista's gonna do it, man. With his giant, like, Yakuza tattoo. Dave Batista's my favorite Yakuza pro tag. Right, still Evolution, even in the sequel. Is he still Evolution in DOR too? Fuck you! Okay, fine, you know? Alright. Alright, it's CTE time. Oh, wait! Oh, hey, they put the weapons in the ring. Ow! No. No! I will not let it go like this! I will not allow it to go like this. There's no way. There is no shot! Fuck you! I'm gonna kick the shit out of you, Val Venus. Get up, you fucking bitch. Was a grandfather during his boom. Wait, what? Oh! Dude, that went right through his head! I'm sorry, I didn't... Dude, I'm learning all new things about Day of Reckoning's game. Kick Venus's butt, Dave. I'm gonna give you more chair shots than The Rock did to Mankind, you bitch. This penis is not my pal, dude. And I'm gonna beat it until it's red and raw. Watch me. He was the grandfather before he turned 40. What? That's nuts. Is he a VIP of the Long Boy Club? Who? Val Venus? Absolutely not. If anything, he's like the anti-VIP. How do I leave the ring? Okay, there you go. Who used the kendo stick? Oh yeah, it was Val again. Dude, a whip crack for the goddamn kendo stick? Exactly. He's persona non grata in the Long Boy Club. Get up, you bitch! No! No! Hey! Okay, okay, you know what? I guess you kind of need to make him look good. Actually, no. What am I saying? No, I don't. I need to kill this guy. I'm afraid we gotta kill this guy, Steven. Man. Dude, what is this? Is this like a sheet? It's a plank of wood? Ow! Wait! Wait, that's a ring bell? I'm not afraid we have to. You know what? Yeah, I need to stop giving this guy, like, fucking more benefits of the doubt than is necessary. What? You already have a finisher? No, the fuck you don't. Give me that shit. No! Ow! There's no way. Oh. Yeah, baby! Just picking the dog shit out of him, dude. This crowd on Raw loves to, they love themselves some Albinas here, I guess. The ocean is mystery. Wait, what's a brutal move? The punches? The grounded punches? I mean, I do agree, yes. Ah! The atomic drop. The referee is getting out of there, dude. He wants nothing to do with this. He knows exactly what's coming to Val Venus. Dude. Chad, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Batista bomb to the table. Aw, Batista bomb through the fucking table! Please! 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 Yes! Batista bomb! By God, he killed him! Good God Almighty! He killed him! Holy shit! Batista, go! Batista, go! That's what they're saying, chat. They're saying Batista, go! Batista, go! That's what they're saying, chat. This is awesome, yeah. I think we need, another Batista bomb. Action replay. Wait, action replay? I will sacrifice you to the altar. Get up there. Mercy, Davey. There is no mercy. On the ramp. Bounce off the fucking thing. Fuck Val Venus. Clap, 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 clap. Fuck Val Venus. Batista bombed to the table and then worked the arm. True psychology right there. Listen. Listen, Dave just wants to cover his bases, alright? There is no way. Twitch, Long Boy Club, we need to fucking make this happen. Not the fucking rock bottom! The figure four? Go, more like go fuck yourself. Chad, we need to get the yes chance going here at the next Batista bomb. Because it's not a matter of if there... Because at this point, it's not a matter of if there's another Batista bomb coming. It's just coming. Okay? I think we can all agree that it is just gonna come. Dude, why is this so satisfying? I'm not even gonna lie to you, this is actually really fun. It's coming, dude. Much like this penis here. It's coming. Come! That's you watching Val Venus get his shit rocked. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you and your special move. Dude, regular ass power bomb! I will sacrifice you on the altar at the Spanish announce table, you fuck. Get over here. Wait, is there back? Wait, is there blood on Batista's back, or is that just like the coloring? Dude, why is he reversing all my shit now? Like, why is he cracked all of a sudden? Dude, he's smothering him! He's smothering him! With his bicep. Normal power bomb on the outside! Ow! You're right, this is brutal. Now. Come on. Fuck you. I'm going up on this friggin' Spanish announce table, you fuck. No! No! I will not allow this! No way! This is bullshit, man! This match is a KO stiff, LMAO. Yeah, it's a little easy to forget that, but it certainly does have a knockout stipulation. Fuck it, you know what? We're gonna use the chairs now. Can I use them? That Batista sign says all you need to is all you need to say, dude. Whoa! Dude, this game's so intense that even the ref is getting caught in the mix. I will not stop until this fan has so much CTE. It has more CTE than you can shake a stick at. Batista, go! Batista, go! Batista, go! Oh, you... No! Fucking hell, dude. He cock-blocked my goddamn finisher twice in a row. Oh, you know what? You and I are going for a ride. Old Valboski, you and I are going for a ride. We're just kicking him. I'm like waiting out his finisher. How is he still alive? This match is a KO stip. It does. Come on, bitch. Ugh. I want us to like work our way up to like the goddamn entranceway. How does he have anything left, Val Venus? An unbelievable amount of head trauma here in this matchup between Val Venus and not goddamn Dave Bautista. Fuck you, man. I will admit that with how much shit I'm giving him, he almost looks like a sympathetic babyface. But you know, the fact that he's Val Venus kind of cancels out that baby fire, or that babyface sympathy. Come on, this has to be it, dude. No, are you kidding me? Come on, I can pop off one more, right? One more! Bautista bomb! If a man has two hands, he can punch Val Venus with them. I think that's it, dude.
1, 2.
No, it's fucking not. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? No, it's not. Any man with two hands has the God-given privilege to beat up Val Venus. You're fucking shitting me, dude. No, I said I was going to sacrifice you on the altar, and that's exactly what's going to happen, dude. I'm going to sacrifice you on the goddamn altar, and that's exactly what's going to happen. No! 2! Okay. I swear to God. If I lose this match in the way I usually do, and that's goddamn, no! 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 I swear. 2! Yes! Holy shit! Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna wrap this shit up. How do you knock him out? One more. Bautista bomb! Pinfall. The deed has been done. The deed has been accomplished. And a transphobe has been beaten to a pulp. Yeah, hit that fucking pose, Dave. Alright. Well, I'm glad that we got all that out of our system. That maybe went on a bit too long. But we did it. Evolution is a mystery, but what's not a mystery is that Val Venus is a fucking turd. And we beat him within an inch of his life. We beat that penis until there was no more blood to squeeze from it, and look what happened. This has been good, but I'll be lurking right now, but still, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it, Sushi. Thank you very much for the follow. Have a good lurk. Long Boy Club is an even bigger mystery than evolution. What's not a mystery is trans rights. That is always for certain. Alright, here we go. Back online? Dude, that's me like 3 times a week. Wow. Back online, brother. Damn, Egg, back at it again with those. Dude, the logo is framed. Dude, that picture of the Day of Reckoning logo is literally just like Teddy's room right there. That photo is like what Teddy wants to do, but in real life. Mr. Heyman, Mr. Angle, you wanted to see me? What's going on? Well, it may be a little strange to see 2 former GMs of SmackDown coexisting in the same place at the same time. But we both wanted to deliver the same message. Since your call out to Heat, you've done very well in the ring, followed instructions, and impressed the right people. We think you're just about ready for the big time. There's just one thing. There are a lot of other guys who have been busting their tails down here for a lot longer. And they also deserve a shot. So, over the next 2 weeks, we're going to have a 4-man mini tournament. The winner of this tournament will get his chance at Raw or SmackDown. So tonight, Heat is going to feature the 2 semifinal matches. Matt freaking Hardy versus Rhino. And you, Egg, versus GirafaStev. Dude, are you serious? We're gonna have to face Rhino a fucking again? Dude, no. No. I don't want to face Rhino. I actually like Rhino. I feel like after that we peaked somewhat. So I'm gonna say that once we get called up, I'm gonna end the stream. His ginormous fishlets were never not funny. Ah! He's the bone cracker! He is the bone cracker! But is he a bigger bone cracker than Dave Batista? Because I think Batista made a pretty.
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Alright, I guess we'll run the ad here in a second. He's the bone cracker, and he's the ad attacker. Coming up here in a minute. In fact, sorry chat, my butt is starting to get a little numb. So for this break, I'm actually gonna toss to the actual break screen. And go take a piss. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes? Om nom nom. Oh excuse me, we're back my dudes.
Chat, maybe the real bone cracker was the friends we made along the way. Have you ever thought about that? I'm sure that the fishbone cracker, Egg Hachi, has thought about that at least 1.5 times. Hi, welcome back to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. It is time for us to get what is ours, and that is a contract to Raw. But first we need to get past Garrison K. Ow! Damn it. My crown. You know, the crown has just become so ubiquitous with this character design that I forget it's even there half the time. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, it's just like... It's like in one ear and out the other now, right? Fuck you. Eat my kicks. Eat my body slams. Ah! Break! So far, pretty even contest here between fucking Garrison Cade and the goddamn fishbone cracker. I will always be a fan of goddamn Egg Hachi's lips just being front and center in terms of their weirdness. He really does look like one of those guys that would be on like an ad that says some shit like, this guy is getting hot girls in your area and you're not. Find out how. Then you go on there and then you get like 5 Trojan horses downloading all of a sudden. Dude, what is this, like, counter upon counter here? Nice bulldog. Okay, we kind of got something there. I love his little baby feet, just like doing the goddamn Shane McMahon taunt. Now, while we're kind of whittling away on GirafaStev here, chat, I kind of need to, like, you know what? I'm just gonna say what no one else is willing to say. I'm not ready for more consoles. I'm not ready for another console gen. Because it barely feels like that the one we're currently in even really had a chance to begin. You know? I am most certainly not in the mood for a new PlayStation right now. Especially when, you know, the majority of what I played on PS5 was fucking Fortnite for, like, most of the generation. Well, the Steam one doesn't tickle your fancy. The Steam one might, just for the sake of being able to play my Steam games on stream more, you know, effectively. The fact that they would consider a new one is fucking dumb. I mean, it's really been, like, just a really weird generation overall. Because, like... Wait, hold on, what? Wait, what's happening? Why did I not get a result screen? Why does his pants look like muscle fibers? It's salmon pants, brother. Matt freaking Hardy! Hey! Ow! Ow! What the f- It's V1! I guess I'll get right to the point, Egg. Like you, I won my match tonight. Okay, well at least I'm not fighting Rhino again. So next week, you and me are going to see who gets a full-time shot in the big leagues. But there's a difference between you and me. You see, I've been there before. And if it weren't for my leg injury, Matt Hardy V1 would still be headlining on Raw. And make no mistake about it, you may have beaten me before, but that was nothing. Yeah, everyone saw an OVW. I was injured back then, barely able to walk or move. But now, V1 is back online. I never would have thought that it would come down to me and a punk like you. There's no way you're gonna stop me from getting back to Raw. See you in the ring. Brother Nero. Wait, no, that's Jeff Hardy. I can't wait for Heat Matt facts. Dude, I can't wait for that shit either. That shit's gonna come. Wow. The Steam one is like as much as a computer. It is, but like, you know. I have a lot of like Steam games that I would like to play on stream. Like fucking XCOM. I've been wanting to do XCOM for years. I would like to do it where I make you guys in it and then I do horrible plays and then I lose you guys in the heat of combat and then we all get sad. You know, because you're dead. Hey, hold on, maybe I don't want the Steam machine now. Maybe I don't want the Steam machine all that much now. But no, I would like to do stuff like that. I would like to do stuff like Slime Rancher. I would like to do stuff like, you know, more modded games, you know? Although I don't know how easy it would be to mod stuff on a Steam machine. I'd have to imagine it's, you know, more or less the same as a computer. But, you know. I for sure want to get the Steam machine, especially if I can emulate on it. Dude, generally modded Sonic Heroes on a Steam machine would hit like crack. Because you truly don't get a chance to appreciate how well designed Sonic Heroes is with the current sensitivity of its game feel. Because Sonic Heroes famously has pretty awful game feel. But once you add general improvement mods that fix up the sensitivity and make it so that, you know, the speed characters don't move like they're, you know, on ice all the time, it becomes a top 5 3D Sonic game. Like, it genuinely becomes really fucking good. Alright. We're about to step into the ring with the V1! Very excited for that. Wait, what did I just add in? Do you think he's charismatic, chat? Do you think that the man we've been playing as up until this point is a charismatic dynamo? Because with the way he looks and the way he carries himself, I think he's got a pretty good argument for himself. I'll keep it like that. I think 4 is a pretty good baseline anyways. I'll save again. You know, just in case my shitty GameCube crashes. But yeah, like, at this point, I really have no real motivation to get, like, you know, a new console. I mean, I've said it, you know, quite a few times on stream at this point, but my gaming tastes have niched down so hard that they don't really apply to, like, any, to really any big AAA games unless they're Sonic related, you know? And maybe Yakuza as well. But even then, I can get Yakuza and Sonic on Steam, you know? Those are also on PC. Mostly. Taking the next step. I feel like that we're already, like... halfway through this thing. Oh, no. Oh. Dude, he was spooked by him. Did you see that? Oh, no. What do you want? How's it going, Egg? It's me, the coach. I know. I've been gone for a while, but I'm back. And I'm back to kick some butt in Wild Canyon. This big man called me back up to primetime TV. With a face like the coach's, can you blame him? Anyway, I just wanted to wish you good luck in your match tonight. We all know what's at stake, but after all the training and advice I gave you a few months ago, the coach is confident that you'll take the next step tonight. Good luck. I'll see you in the prime time. Alright. Alright, chat. Let's go to Raw. I'm excited, honestly. I'm excited for, like, every... Ah! The mat signs are out! Oh! Dude, it's here! Yeah! Matt prefers window seating on airplanes. Dude, this is fire. Matt is ridiculously underrated. In 2004, perhaps. Dude, right on time! You're just in time for the V1, Dazzle.
Hello, Mario. Hello, Mario.
Dojion, I believe is how you say it. Holy shit! We have a lot of people here right now for the goddamn V1! Sip of water. Holy shit, did we get all those Matt facts there? Dazzle, thank you very much for bringing your lovely community on over here. Everyone, have a look at my awesome wrestler, the fish bone cracker, Egachi. How you doing, Daz? Hopefully you had a fun time on stream. What were you doing? And most importantly, did you have fun with it? Egachi. And most of all, he's fish fried because he has fish lips. It's time to defeat the V1. Though unfortunately, I believe this may be like the last time we see him, chat. Because we're gonna be going up to the main roster here. So drink it in. Does he scramble people by throwing them off a mountain into a fryer? Fist sticks! Get your fist sticks here! Alright. This right here is the boss fight. But first, before we do the boss fight, usual 2K doing some dark matches. How can they be dark matches if they're alive? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I hope you had fun with that. If you need to lurk, that's absolutely fine. If you need to do some post-stream care, that's absolutely fine. I know I need to do that, you know, relatively often whenever I'm streaming. But yeah. Hello, Dazzles community. For those of you who are unaware, my name is GirafaStev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club. I am the long and large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, the V1, and my stinky cats. Tonight we are, of course, playing WWE Day of Reckoning. We're actually kind of probably about to wrap things up here after we defeat Matt Hardy here. We're going to go up to Raw, I'd imagine. And that's where we're going to start the next stream. But see this? See Day of Reckoning right here? I do a lot of stuff like this. I do a lot of wrestling games. I like creating my own characters, telling my own little stories with them as we go throughout the games, and kind of having them all share a little universe. That one that I like to call the Giraverse, which I will be doing a lore dump on here soon. Along with that, I like role-playing games, I like strategy games, I like Sonic, I enjoy, wrestling of all shapes and sizes. Right now I'm trying to get more into Japanese wrestling, so, if you're into that sort of stuff, I would really, really enjoy a follow on the channel, much like the people that just followed. Dojan, or Dojan, I believe is how you say it, and De Facto Fiasco. Thank you both. You are now both members of the Long Boy Club for life. I appreciate it. I appreciate your follows very, very much. Daz, if you don't mind me asking, who worked your dark matches? Who were the ones that worked your dark matches? So I think for this we need, like, fight music, right? There you go. Alright. God, the crunchy sound effects. I did book Gold Ship in a match. Good. We all love Gold Ship. I am not listening to the V1, I will say, I do enjoy that this one, other that, this is kind of a callback to, the OVW matches. We kind of, put a bow on it here with Matt Hardy. We wrestled back at OVW. Now that's long-term storytelling paying off, dude. No. Yeah, I'm gonna siphon some of your momentum, brother. I have a feeling that this is going to be a pretty hard match, honestly. Please, I shall. Duck need a shower before bed. You go enjoy your shower, man. Again, thank you very much for bringing your community over here. I really appreciate it. Okay, we gotta put those submission skills to work, brother. On the other side is a full-on Raw contract. We cannot lose this. I will not be sent back to developmental. Oh! Victory roll. 1, 2. No. Oh, fuck you and your friggin' twist of fate. Fuck you and your twist of fate. Urgh. These little baby hands get me all the time, dude. I love them so much. Nice. Or can I get him with the big old cross body? Pin. 1, 2. Ah, I had a feeling, but I wanted to make sure. Oh, hey, drop toe hold. His little feetsies dancing in the wind. But no, like, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't really want, like, a new console right now, you know? It feels like that we barely even had time to really, like, you know, let, like, the current one sink in. Oh, best moonsault ever! Oh, no! Dude, he blocked it! He fucking dodged it. Yeah, I'm pissed too, honestly. I'm gonna break your leg again, you bitch. Well, now I'm gonna break your face, honestly. Eat my Boston... No, eat my camel clutch, brother. Oh! Oh, pinfall! 1, 2, 3! Hell yeah, dude! This fish is no longer cooked. He's no longer fish and flash fried. He's raw, baby. On raw, that is. Hey, we actually, like, countered quite a bit there, honestly. We actually did pretty okay. At least based on what we usually have. Which is honestly not very good. Honestly, it's not very good a lot of the time. Because I cannot reverse for shit. Alright. Are we done? Are we gonna get like a cutscene showing that we've completed our time on Heat? I feel like that we're gonna get a cutscene saying that our time on Heat has come to an end. TV matches wrestler. But at the very least, we're on TV, you know? Decisions. So wait, do we actually get to choose where we go? Oh, no. Okay, fine. Ah! When we first met a few months ago, I told you that if you proved yourself, there would be a shot for you on primetime WWE programming. Well, seeing as how you performed in the ring and based on the fact that you won the Heat tournament last week, I'm happy to tell you that I have in my hands a WWE contract with your name on it. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Mr. Big Man. Will I be going to Raw or SmackDown? That's really up to you. I have an open roster spot in both brands, and I know each of our GMs is anxious for a fresh face, such as yourself, to join their show. Want to let you know that in the story mode in Day of Reckoning 2, it's a direct sequel to this one. Your character is said to...
Hello, Mario.
I went to Raw during the events of DOR. Of course, choose what you want. Just thought you should know that. I know that DOR 2 is a direct sequel, but if we want to keep things canon and consistent between the adventures of Agachi, I think that going to Raw is the best thing. I have an open roster spot in both brands, obviously. You'll probably work out on either show. So why don't you tell me which roster you prefer to work with? Well, SmackDown would be easier. But I mean, Raw is Raw, brother. Maybe there we won't get flash fried all the time. You know? Maybe there we'll stay raw and uncooked. So I think Raw is it. I think I'd like to give Raw a shot. Well then, let me be the first to welcome you to Raw. Great. Where do I sign? Well, actually, before you sign the contract, there is one more thing. You've got one more match on Heat. Nah, Ric Flair is coming to do a special guest main event shot on Heat tonight. I need you two to put on a show. Can I count on you? No problem, Mr. McMahon. Well then, congratulations. Just sign on the dotted line. Alright! It's kind of crazy Mr. McMahon isn't in WWE video games anymore. It kind of is, yeah. It's kind of incredible that they don't just brute force it. Not saying I want him there, but it is a little crazy. Speaking of guys who I can't believe are on my TV screen, the fishbone cracker, Agachi. I can't believe this guy even exists, let alone is on my TV right now. I think during the entrances, I'll plan out who we raid to. Music. What the fuck is this tuning? What? This is weird, right? This is like analog horror goddamn Ric Flair music. Goodness me. Wow. I'm going to Arizona tomorrow to see family. Well, I hope you have fun, man. I really hope you have fun. But tonight we're gonna have fun kicking Ric Flair's ass. How about that? Ah! Real grabs here, wow. In the fucking blue here, which is nuts to see, honestly. Dude, we are like countering each other crazy style. Wow. The naturist boy Dick Bear. Not as much of a dick as Val Venus. It is pretty close though, I will give you that. Absolutely the fuck not, dude. Absolutely not! What?
Hello, Zealous.
Dude, why is he reversing so much? Dude, he's like reversing so much. Ow! Wait, are we actually gonna be using our very first... What the fuck? Wow. Okay, so you can actually lose matches. Wow. Well, you know what? I thought that you could just like not lose matches in this mode. I didn't realize that, like, you couldn't... I didn't realize that, like, you know, there were points where you could lose. Because up until now, winning has been mandatory. Oh, no. No! Are you kidding me? No! No, we're not gonna get pumped out by evolution immediately, dude! Are you kidding me? Nah! But Dave, we gassed you up earlier, man! We did so much to gas you up. You know what, kid? I've seen a lot of rookies come, and I've seen them go. But I gotta admit, you've been pretty impressive in your career so far, and that's coming from Rick with a K, Flair. So you know it means something. We know that you're on the way to the big time. And that you earned your way there and nobody gave you nothing. You're a big fish in a small pond around here. That's all gonna change once you get to the prime time, baby. Right now, me and the boys are here to deliver a message straight from the man Triple H. He says that now that you're coming to his show, you have two choices. You can go our way or the highway. Triple H is offering you a once-in-a-lifetime choice. You can join up with us or take your chances on your own. Triple H is expecting an answer from you on next week's Raw. But as these boys will tell you, if you're not with us, you're against us. So consider your choice very carefully and how you want to start your career in the big time. You can have the cars, the money, and the women. Or you can have 7 years of bad luck. It's
almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
He's like in a pose. He climaxed. That's crazy. Now we'll go ahead and snooze that while we... So, just for funny, SmackDown would have the Ministry of Darkness with Undertaker, Big Show, Booker T, and Charlie Haas. That is the most random faction of all time. Oh hey, I got hidden characters. We got Brother Brutai and Greg Valentine. That's incredible. That's so funny that they had this faction in Evolution that they could just use if they wanted to. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Darkness is Hey, you like Charlie Haas? Do you like Charlie Haas? Please say yes. I mean, I think he's fine. I think Charlie Haas is fine, but, you know. You have Batista and then you have Charlie Haas. Which one's winning? Beaver Cleavage as part of the Monday Night roster of 2K26. Dude, that's new generation. Get out of here. You go to hell and you fucking die, dude. For funsies, let's check out Brother Brutai's bullshit here. The Legends stats are, like, surprisingly low for who they are. Yeah. I think that about wraps up tonight's festivities, everyone. This has been fun. Thank you all for having a great time with me. Thank you for the watching. Thank you for the follows and the raids. I'm glad I followed through on tonight's stream. You know, tonight was very fun. And I'm glad that we had a chance to, you know, do all this together. This was great. Thanks for the stream. Absolutely, my friend. Let's go ahead and let's raid into one of my newer friends, Trisha Trasha. She is a raccoon cat girl VTuber who right now is playing Prey. I believe the newest Prey, the one from the mid 2010s.
Remember, no man is a failure to his friends.
I appreciate that. Any man with Cheeto dust running through his veins has to be correct. Yeah. Hold on. Raid message. Oh, sorry. Raid message. Right there. Those are the raid messages. If you have a sub, you can use the one with my emotes. If you don't, you have one with the heart emotes. Let's start the raid. Thank you all again, everyone. I really appreciated this tonight. If you've not done so already, I would really appreciate a follow. I stream 3 times a week, despite what my off-stream screen says. I have a Discord server. It's a fun little community of wrestling and games and weekly watch-alongs. Right now, we are doing Smiling Friends. We're going to be doing Season 2 next week. Come and join us for that. Here are all my socials. I'm on a lot of different platforms. I'm on TikTok. Well, I'm not sure for how much longer. I'm on Blue Sky. I am on YouTube twice. I have 2 YouTube channels, one for VODs and one for, you know, just like general stream clips. Come on by and join all of those. I would love to see you over there. Thank you all very much. And I will see you on Thursday for our first episode of Monday Night Raw. See ya.